Hi, I'm Shirley McKinnon, and today's session is on the barrier that actually stops you from getting the things that you want. Now, direct sales and party plan is a very proactive industry. Most people when they start have no realization of how proactive it is. They kind of hope that when someone says, "Oh my gosh, I love your necklace," and they go, "Yes, it's Park Lane," that person's going to leap forward and go, "Oh my gosh, I love it, I've got to have it, please can I have a party?" It simply doesn't happen that way, and because of not being able to ask right at that point, a lot of people fall at that first hurdle because they do not realize how proactive direct sales is. You have to ask for a party. You have to ask someone to join your team. You have to ask them to buy the special or to buy the necklace. So this is something you have to be very proactive, and it's something that you will discover that you may have quite a barrier against. So what I'm going to go over today is a concept called the scale of excellent communication. I'm going to tell you what stops you, and I'm going to tell you why it stops you, and then I'm going to tell you one small technique on how to push through it, and you won't get stopped anymore. So the scale of excellent communication, at the very bottom is the social scenario where you are somewhere in a group of people and you know none of them. And the top of the scale of excellent communication is understanding. When you reach a point where you understand them and you know their motivation and you know their reality and you get that level of honesty between you, that's the highest at the level of communication, is getting to understanding. So I'm going to give you an example outside of party plan, and then we'll have a look at in a party plan scenario. So let's just say you're at a party, someone else's party, and you're with a group of people and you know none of them. So here we go. Here's the lowest level of the scale of excellent communication. And to move higher actually takes a lot of effort. You're going to try and work your way up the scale of communication. So you might actually meet someone and say to her, "Hi, how are you?" You know, introduce yourself, and you might say to her, "So, how do you know Jenny?" And then you're struggling for things to say. It takes a lot of effort to keep moving up. And so you might say to her, "So, how's your day been?" And she goes, "Just got served divorce papers." And what crops up? Whoa, is emotion. And so you've been moving up the scale, and all of a sudden you hit emotion. And emotion is like a massive barrier, because what happens at that point? First of all, usually the emotion is yours. The emotion is yours, usually. What you do is you then imagine what you think is going to happen next. So she's just been served divorce papers, and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, she's now going to start moaning about this guy. I'm going to hear about all the stories. I'm going to hear all the bad stuff. I'm going to be stuck here in the corner. And I've been having an okay day, and now this is going to get really heavy duty." And so what you then do is you act accordingly according to what your imagination is telling you you're going to happen next. So what you've been doing is you've been traveling up the scale of communication until you hit that emotion, probably your own. Your imagination goes crazy, tells you what's going to happen next, and you act accordingly. "Oh, I just forgot. I told Jenny I'd help her in the kitchen," and you are so out of there. You're gone. Now, you might be saying to yourself, "You know what, I've got to learn to get on well better with people. I've got to get to know people. I've got to get out there more." But as soon as you hit that emotion, what happens is you imagine what's going to happen next. Now, if you've said, "I will do this," But your imagination is imagining all sorts of bad consequences of it, where will and imagination come up against each other. Imagination will always win. Your imagination will come up with all the scenarios, and then you will act accordingly to your own imagination. Now, the question that I want to ask you is this. Hang on a minute. So, was this a good thing or a bad thing, this divorce? She's been served with divorce papers. You don't know. So the only way that you need to move forward is you actually need a little bit more information. You need to know facts, or the data, or the reality. So you might say to her, and this is what you do to push through this barrier. To push through that barrier takes 20 seconds of courage to ask one more question. So you might say to her, so is this a good thing or a bad thing? Are we going to drown our sorrows or are we celebrating? And she goes, hell no, I've been trying to get out of this relationship for years. And suddenly you are now at understanding. So it's your emotion that stops it, it's your imagination that kicks in, and then you act accordingly to your own imagination. So let's say that it's your party and you see someone that you think, whoa, she would be great to have a party. She loves the jewelry, she can't afford it all, she'd be good. She's a good hostess because she could get a lot more. Or you think, wow, she'd be great on my team. I'd love to have her in my team. So what you do is you go and you say to her, listen, I've noticed that you absolutely love Park Lane. You've got an amazing style. I think that you would be great at this. And I'm wondering if we could have a cup of coffee and I can tell you about the opportunity. And then she goes, and screws her face up. Whoa, emotion comes up. Your emotion comes up. Your imagination goes, oh my God, she's going to go now and tell all her friends that I'm really pushy and they're all going to hate me. None of them will want to see me again because they think that I'm going to put the hard word on them. And you go, oh no, it's okay, it's okay. But hang on a minute, why did she screw her face up? You don't know. You haven't got enough information. So, 20 seconds of courage. Push through the emotion and say, why are you screwing your face up like that? Tell me what's happening. And she goes, I don't think I could do what you do. And the answer to that is, but do you think you could learn? Because I could teach you. And she goes, really? Oh my gosh, I would love to do this, but I'm not really very confident. Now you've got to understand me. So hopefully this makes a lot of sense, and you can start now thinking about scenarios where you have wanted to ask someone and you have willed yourself to ask someone, and when the moment came, nothing came out. And now you'll understand why nothing came out. 9 times out of 10, it is your emotion that stops you, that kicks your imagination into gear. So what I'm going to suggest is, with this knowledge, just ask everybody you talk to. Say to someone, do you know anyone that wants to earn some extra money because I'm looking to grow my team? Every time you go to stop yourself, every time you feel that feeling in your gut and that stop, think, I need a little bit more information, one more question. That's all you got to do. You don't have to convince them, you don't have to persuade them, you just got to ask one more question so you can find out a little bit more information. And you know what? As you ask for more information, it keeps it real, and they are quite happy then to go up to understanding and have that honesty with you. When you are up here, you are doing what I call talking to the being. Your heart is talking to their heart, and you're having an honest and real communication. And you know what? That's what every person would love to have from a leader, and that makes you a great leader. So this is a concept for you to play with. It's for you to trial, and I would love to get some feedback from you. Tell me examples of when you've done this. Tell me when you tried it, what happened, how did it work, give me some examples and work it. So I'll see you at our next training session. Have fun with it, good luck, and use it to get whatever you want, because you'll only get what you want when you ask.